It's me again, checking in. It's been a few minutes. I'm just chilling. Figured I'd hit you up.
Yeah. Yo, when the films develop, will you like who you see in the pictures that live forever? When your name stops being in the news and reporters no longer care to ask you about your point of view. When all you have left is the
What's going on?
You know, another day. Happy 4th.
Happy 4th. So here we have no buddy of mine, Phuoc Nguyen. Now goes by. I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit.
Well, yeah, I go by Win. I guess now it's First Officer Win.
That's fucking crazy. I mean, I'm super like stoked for you and I'm proud of you, man. That's badass. Like, and that's one of the reasons why. So for some of you guys joining in, I appreciate you, watching again. And if this doesn't help you, try to share with others and subscribe to the content. Just trying to have open conversations, nuance, and also try to bring people on that will show a different path, or maybe you could see yourself going on that path, different experiences. And if that helps you out, that helps you out. If it doesn't, and at the very least, hopefully it's entertaining for y'all. But with that, I met First Officer Nguyen now. That's crazy, man. I mean, in a good way. And then like we were just talking right before we started recording that because we both served together in the military. How long were you in?
I did 6.5 years active, another 6 in the Guard.
Yeah. So you were with me at Eglin and then Germany, right?
Yep, in Germany.
And then was there anywhere else that we're together?
I guess when you went to Boston, I came home. So Boston.
Yeah, in Boston. It's crazy. Yeah. So I know you've always wanted to become a pilot. And I know that was one of the things you had talked about, but you were looking at doing helos, right? Like
yes. I tried to get into helo with the Army, but medically they wouldn't take me, so that kind of got shot down.
Oh, okay. No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, looking back on that, like, do you feel like it was a good thing because of where you're at now, or do you?
Yeah, I mean, it was sad at the time, kind of have to put your dream on a setback and being something you can't control medically. But
Right.
at the same time, it was a blessing in disguise, honestly. I just pursued it on the civilian side and actually ended up working for them as a contractor anyways.
That's crazy. That's crazy because I don't know all your path. I know like we spoke a little bit at my retirement when you guys went, which I was not hugely. I was humbled by that like, you guys came out as well as Tacto and, a few other Watt Tim and a few others, but like to kind of hear that path that you guys took or that you took specifically, and then you went the private route and all that. So like how like kind of play it out, like how did that transpire from when you left the military, the Guard, and like all that stuff?
The Guard was actually pretty tough on me. I don't know, being from active duty, being from first CMXS,
Yeah.
being like, I don't know, the best of the best in the comm world.
Yeah.
To be in the Guards who are super laid back and just my own personality and mentality is a little different from the Guard.
And how I remember speaking to you on the phone, and I heard those things before, and I think that people that go into the Guard and reserves, and I'm not saying that there's not the units out there that are sharp or not, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I hear your experience, and if people never went active and then they go Guard, they really don't know the difference, I feel. But for you to kind of get that, what first CMX was when we were there, and to have people that knew their shit, even there, I felt like I didn't know as much as, Junior and like some of those guys, you know what I mean? Like I felt like even inadequate there because there were more specialists in that, in our unit than not. And I had to get humbled a couple times on some TDYs. I had to like lean on, like Bryson and them, because I didn't know antenna work, as much as I did after I left there.
But it was so great about first team SX is that everyone's such a specialist, and maybe you don't know one thing in one field, but you can rely on the guy in the next, and he'll know everything about it. And it
Yeah,
worked out as a unit. It was a great unit. It's probably one of the best time of my life.
yeah, that was a good time. I know. I think back to it, and it feels like another lifetime. Definitely for me. I don't know if it's the same with you or just feels like yesterday or what.
It felt like a long time ago.
Yeah,
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 it
I
wasn't even
know.
that long ago, but still, it just felt a long time ago.
So you left for CMXS, you joined the guard, and then you had that experience. And then what in a way that almost like forced you out of that experience, or like forced you out of that situation a lot quicker. Because I imagine when you went guard, you were trying to like use that time to retire, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guard was great in his own experience. It's just a little bit different from active. The people there were super supportive. A lot of were really smart people. Actually, it's hard when you have to work part time military and part time civilian.
Right.
It doesn't really mix. You can't give 100% to either one. Yeah, I kind of use that time to go to school. Kind of focus a lot on school and that 3.5 years. I went to college at Bridgewater State University. That was an animal of itself.
Yeah, I bet.
Not only you have to go to your college classes, but you also have to go to your flight classes. And that was, let's see, I lived in Quincy. I had to commute. I didn't dorm all the way to Bridgewater. That's like about 35 minutes. And then from there, from Bridgewater, you have to fly, you have to drive to the flight school, which is another 45 minutes away. So I
Damn.
commuted almost 2.5 hours a day, every day,
Each way.
each way.
God. And then with the traffic.
Yeah, traffic wasn't too bad because you're going down south, but I was
Yeah.
putting I think like 120 miles a day on my car
Dang.
one way, and then you have to drive back home and wake up the next day and do it.
Damn. But that kind of help you, I don't know, on some level, like appreciate your efforts a little bit more, right? Like because you had to work so hard for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the time being spent driving, you can do a lot of podcasts or a lot of audiobooks. So it was actually
Yeah.
it wasn't a bad time, but financially it kind of sucked because being a college student and driving all those.
Yeah. So what did you go to school for specifically?
Aviation science.
Aviation science.
Yep, in flight concentration. So there's two programs that you can go to. You can either be a flight major or mostly pilots, or you can be a management major, which focus more on airport operation or aviation operation.
Oh, nice. And that, like, what was your aim? Was your aim just to be a pilot, or was it like what were your goals in that? I mean,
Yeah,
obviously you're a pilot now, but I didn't know if that was your initial intent.
just to be a pilot. Yeah, the GI Bill pretty much paid for all of it. They actually pay from your private all the way up to your CFI uh, throughout your whole entire degree. So,
And commercial flight. What
yep,
is CFI?
CFI is a certified flight instructor.
Certified flight instructor. So then you did that, and then it led you to what?
Actually, here's the crazy part. I actually didn't even finish the program. I got my private pilot, my instrument there. I was on my way of getting my commercial, and I actually got into kind of like a disagreement with the chief pilot there. Uh, my instructor was like, "Hey,
No.
you could go do all your solos." He just didn't have time for me, which I
Right.
was fine. We were a state school, plenty of people fly. We said, "Hey, just go do all your solos." So on your commercial rating, you had to do like up to like 9 solos throughout out of like 20 lessons. So I actually, the very next day after I finished my instrument rating, I did all my solos all at once.
Dang.
So I come back and he's like, "Hey, what lesson are you on?" I'm like, "I'm on like lesson 10. I'm on lesson 10, dude." He's like, "How are you on lesson 10?" I was like, "You told me to do all my solos." So I did all my solos. He's like, "Well, part of this program is so strict that you're not able to skip lessons unless you get the approval of the chief pilot." I didn't know at that time. So the chief pilot brings me in and he goes, "Hey, I heard you stole a plane." I was like, "Excuse me?" I kind of gave him the face, like, "Excuse me? What do you mean? Like, someone has to hand me the keys and I brought the plane back. So like, how did I steal the plane?" He's like, "Well, you weren't approved to skip through lessons." I was like, "I was approved through the flight instructor. I have emails. I mean, I have text messages to show you." So he goes, "Well, you're gonna have to redo them." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm not gonna redo them because when you're talking about flight school and renting an airplane, you're talking about $200 an hour. That's a lot of money. And you're talking about 9 solos, so you're almost talking about like 45 grand." I'm like, "I'm not paying for it. I mean, I'll redo them, but y'all gonna have to pay for it. If it's not my mistake."
Right.
So I was like, "You know what? This is it. This is the crossroad for me. This straw that broke the camel."
Right.
I actually bought a plane with another person at that time, and I made a whole bunch of buddies that were flight instructors. I was like, "Hey, dude, you want to teach me on my own plane and help you out to get to airlines, help me out to get my commercial?" And we just did that. And I actually dropped out of the program and got my commercial within like a month.
Oh wow.
Versus like,
It's like you clipped the license.
yeah. So instead of like a year waiting for the college to like get me in, I just went to my buddy at nighttime. We just went up and we did my maneuvers and he signed me off. And next thing you know, I got my commercial license.
Oh, that's crazy. So was he just, I don't know. I don't get that. Like, I don't know if it was just like an ego thing that he was just like, because you didn't go through me, or was it like that strict of a process that like,
It's definitely a strict of a process. There's two type of flight school you can go to. One's called a 141, which the FAA actually has to approve every single license that's written up.
got you?
Versus a 61 is you can go to any local flight school and do whatever you want. You have to get your experience in flying, but you can skip around lessons. The 141s are very strict professional program.
Got you. So which one? So did you get a, so being that you got like which did you get one or the other then, since your buddy kind of taught you like the maneuver, not taught you but signed off on your maneuvers, like were you only able to get one of the license, not the other one?
So I got all the way up to my instrument at that time, and then my commercial is the one you're allowed to get paid. Uh, Aviation is very weird, where it's a lot of self studying. Actually, you can pay a flight instructor to teach you what's out of the book, but you can just read the book and do it yourself.
Yeah.
So there's only extra 4 maneuvers that you have to learn from your private for your commercial. That was it. Uh, Being that my buddy always flew with me anyways, we would practice him on random trips that we go on, and it just ended up working out.
Yeah. And like when when did it occur to you that you wanted to become a pilot? Was that like, is that why you joined the Air Force, or is it like
No, actually, I joined the Air Force because I was actually pretty stupid in high school.
shit, weren't we all, dude?
Yeah. When people think I'm like super smart, I'm like, no, I think I pretty much graduated high school with like a 2.0.
Yeah. I
I joined the
graduated
Air.
probably that low too, just because I never fucking showed up.
Yeah, probably same here. It's when you look back at it, like, oh man, I should have showed up to class and should have learned some things, but
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that, and yes, that's true. But at the same time, I don't know and what it was for me. Like, I didn't like sitting there. I love learning, but not in the way that I learned like in traditional school, at least public school, where you're just there sitting for like all day, every day. And I don't know, and like most of the teachers weren't. And I'm not knocking teachers. I would say that's a fucking hard job to try to corral like
absolutely.
these fucking rambunctious, horn driven, not horn, fucking hormone driven, kids or whatever, But at the same time, it's just for me, it's just I just hated just sitting there and just fucking, it was, I don't know. It was hard for me just to kind of just sit there and just like process what they're telling me. My brain, like I would just kind of trail off. Like, I don't know what the fuck we're talking about right now. I'd rather be somewhere else right now. I'd rather be outside. But with that, yeah. So you join, and it sounds like you joined for a lot of the same reasons I did. Like I didn't know my I didn't know what I was gonna do like after high school, and I know that my environment was not the best for me if I would have stayed there. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I don't want to go to college for the very same kind of the same reasons I gave you as far as like um the reasons I didn't like high school or not even high school, but school in general. But and then nor did I have the money to go to college anyways. So it was just like, I just kind of made the decision to go, and crazy enough, I was gonna try to join the Marines, and I went to the recruiter, and they weren't there, so I started walking away, and one of the TI, or not TI, she was a TI, not then, but the recruiter, she that was her prior AFSC or whatever, and she kind of pulled me in like, hey, why don't you just wait here, and she got to talking to me, was straight up with me, and I appreciated that. So that's kind of the way I went. But yeah, as far as for you, you joined for kind of like similar reasons, but with that, you like when did it kind of become apparent? Like I want to become a pilot.
When you guys sent me out on one of those jobs next to a flight line, you know how we were next to the flight line?
Yeah, a lot of times that's why I can't hear your shit now.
Yeah, yeah. So I was digging a hole, and the F-16s are doing the run-ups. I was like, damn. I was like, digging holes in Florida sucks. I'd rather be that guy in that plane right now. I was like, yeah, I'd rather be a pilot. I don't feel like digging holes anymore.
Yeah, that's great, man. And that just shows you like the mindset you're in, because I was just like trying to keep my world small and like let's just keep digging.
I'm like, oh man, we're digging for the same cable for like 4 miles. Like, oh god.
It was a cable 5. That fucking
Oh, I
cable.
don't even remember. It's just digging away, and I was like, oh man, these actually seem like so cool right now.
Yeah. So have you ever been on a fighter?
I have not. I haven't got my hands onto one yet, which is disappointing.
Oh, not yet. I mean, I'm pretty
Not
sure
yet.
you'll come across the circle of to find one, but I know they had incentive flights on some of the deployments I was on, but I never got to get on one. Um, Either way, but yeah, with that, so you you decide, you kind of move forward with it, and then you have that incident with that guy. Uh, have you Do you still stay in contact with any of those people over there?
I do actually. They're very good mentors. I mean, even though you have problems, but still, they
Yeah,
they gave really good career advice, and nothing against the cool school or anything. I know he was doing what's right for the program, what's right
right.
for. So I understood. I feel like going into the school, coming out of the military, I felt coming in with a better mentality than most students do. That
Right.
happened to them. I'm like, I get
Yeah.
it. Business is business.
No, that's good, man. I mean, because you could have just been all pissed off and pissed off at the world and never like flew again. You know what I mean? You could have chose that other path. Like the world's against me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're that type of person, but there are a lot of people that allow things like that to discourage them from what they're trying to do. And then so you go forward, you get your pilot's license, and uh, then how did you end up with that private company?
So someone posted on Facebook. There's a huge aviation community on Facebook that I follow, and some guy posted, we're hiring 3 pilots. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, dude, I'm really interested in this aerial imagery job. I'm like, I could be there tomorrow if you want me to. And he's like, you won't. I was like, say no more.
He said you
I
won't.
I was like, say no more. I was like, I bought a plane ticket, went to Maryland. Actually, Tim let me borrow his car. Went up to the company. I was like, dude, I'm here. Like, I'm at the front door. And he's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, where do you want me to drop off my resume?
Yeah.
So he's like, just drop off with the manager. And the manager goes, can you be back in an hour for an interview? I was like, absolutely.
Hmm.
So interview with her. She liked me, and she was like, what about a flight interview? Can you do it in about 2 hours? I was like, sure, I'll hang out.
Yeah.
Did the flight interview, past that, and next thing she know, this was on a Friday. She's like, can you start Monday? I was like, absolutely. I went home, packed my car up, told my
Damn.
wife I'll be back in about 6 months.
I'm going TDY. I'll be back.
Yeah. But thank God she was supportive of it. She understood, I was chasing a goal, and I literally just packed up my Jetta and threw a whole bunch of stuff in. And Tim actually really helped me out during that time. He let me stay at his house in Maryland and got the job. And it was actually one of the best jobs I ever had, honestly, to tell the truth.
That's crazy, dude. So again, I mean, I've been kind of drawing these parallels, right? Not necessarily with you, but with myself as well. It's like the times that I've chosen to, you know, follow my goal and my dream or whatever, and then or if there's like a situation that I could have went like chose to take the negative path, if you will. I can't think of it, for lack of a better term, or like choose to see the good in it and then like go through it. Because when he spoke with when he replied to the Facebook post and he told me you're interested and he said like you won't, you know what I mean? You could have not just went, but you just fucking took a gamble on yourself and you just went, you know what I mean? And you showed up and everything kind of transpired from there. They saw the initiative and how bad he wanted it. And then I'm pretty sure that spoke volumes, and then it kind of just opened up doors as opposed to just kind of like doubting yourself and like, no, maybe I won't get it. What if I go over there and I get the, I spend this money for a flight, or, how am I going to do it? You just kind of went. Um, and I think because I do shit like that, but it's more so like on long trips and I don't have a plan going into it. And maybe that's just from us, like always out the door going to DY, like, hey, we need you in Spain tomorrow or wherever, and we just kind of figure it out on the way, but with that, it's also important that you have the support structure in your wife, that, and also friends, you know what I mean? Because now if you didn't have, that would have made it harder. I'm not saying you wouldn't do it, but you would have made it a lot harder to have like a place to stay and stuff like that. So luckily you had Tim there that let you stay there, and then your wife was also like supporting you, because there are some wives out there or partners out there that they don't. I don't know. It's strange, dude. I had somebody on the other day, and he was talking about that because he's a uh, he owns his own. He's a veteran, and he owns his own CrossFit gym. He actually owns two of them now, and he was talking about that, the idea that there's couples out there that when they start to do better, one of the people in the relationship, they'll start to like kind of pull on the other one because they don't want them to succeed, whether it's for like insecurity reasons, whether it's they just want to like, they'll give attitude, and stuff like that, and not let them go to the gym anymore, like, and they just try to drag them down. But like for you, it was different, you know what I mean? Your wife was like, go ahead, I got you or whatever. And that's pretty badass, dude. It seems more rare nowadays, unless, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I have seen those. I do have some friends that have some significant other that do that. I just look at that. I'm just like, you only get one life, and
Yeah.
let's just say I'm not saying that they're gonna break up or whatever. You're gonna look back at it. You're gonna be like, damn, I should have just done it.
Right.
Either she's gonna support you or she's not gonna support you. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you'll get one life, so do what you need to do. But I'm sure you'll find someone that'll support you all the way through.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure we can all, well, maybe I speak for myself, go back to those relationships that I was in, and there was a lot of that, with certain relationships, and that's why I didn't, not with those people anymore. You know what I mean? Just because
Yeah.
it's like, I ain't got time for all this bullshit every day. You know what I mean? I gotta, I'm trying to do other stuff. But with that, so you show up, you have the second interview, and what happens after that one?
Pretty much got the job and just started traveling around the U.S.
Is that the one where you're doing DVs, or is that later?
No, this one was aerial imagery, so we're pretty cool. People don't know that anything on like Google Maps and stuff is actually through aerial photography.
Oh, nice.
It did take high resolution pictures. I mean, like you could see power lines, you could see field elevation within like 5 feet. So did that. halfway through, I met one of my really good friend now, Brian, the guard.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really like what he was doing on the civilian side, so I was like, "Hey, dude, why don't you come with me? Maybe this is a traveling job for you. You can pick up some new skills of imagery and geography." So a lot of the guys that worked with us that sat in the back major in geography. I don't really know what to do, so I'm not even trying to explain it.
Right.
So I actually recruited a buddy with me, and it's like hanging out with your friends for the next long TDY of traveling around the US, meeting new people, eating new things, and it just became a really fun job, honestly.
Nice. So like, so that job, you do that job, and then how did you? Because after that one, you went into the private one, right?
Yeah, so they're all private, but
Well, yeah. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
after that one, I got picked up flying a what they call like on-demand charter, but we were scheduled out of Boston, flying a PC-12.
Mm-hmm.
What are the military version? MC-12s? I think MC-12s, the one out of Herbert, the special operation ones. It's an airplane,
Got you.
single engine. Flew passengers on that one from Boston to New York or anywhere within their network. It's called Boutique Air. Did that for about a year. And then I get hired on with the airlines, Republic Airlines. And then COVID happened. This is the dark part of my life.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that. So before we get to that, like the private one, like so that one, I mean, I know they're all private, but the one is that the one with the DVs? Because I know at one point you were saying that you were
I
like
think I know.
washing planes and stuff.
Yeah. So that was way before my flying career. That was while I was in college. I was operation manager over at Boston Executive Helicopters. We flew like the 1%ers.
Got you.
And that was crazy. That gave me a new light on like private charter, like the really rich people that can afford to fly
Yeah,
anytime they want.
that's
You're,
wild. Like, I mean, I know you probably couldn't for NDAs or whatever, but in the sense of like, what did that highlight for you other than damn, some people are fucking rich?
uh highlight seeing how much they would spend on a flight without even thinking about it, or flying bicycles to Cape Cod, hiring a helicopter to fly bicycles to Cape Cod because they needed their bike within the hour.
Damn.
Or the other one was because his airplane didn't fit on the runway, so I had to fly to a different airport, and we had to pick him up to fly into the Patriots game.
Damn. Like, ah,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah. The highlights is the guy that hired me actually was a Army vet too. Actually, I was washing my plane on the ramp with bottles of water. I couldn't wash it. We wanted to wash our plane, but the operator on the airfield was like, "No, well, we have to charge you like $150 to wash your plane with just a water hose." I'm like, "I'm not paying you guys $150." So we went to go buy a case of water. We started like just dousing the plane with water.
Uh-huh.
And this guy was on the ramp. He was running his helicopter doing a test run, and he goes, "What the hell are you guys doing?" I'm like, first of all, who are you?" And I'm washing my plane. Is there a problem? He's
Yeah.
like, "You guys look stupid." I'm like, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. He's
Yeah.
like, just bring your plane into the hangar, our hangar, the biggest one on the field. He's like, just bring it in and wash it for free. Like, I'm not gonna charge you anything. I think I had my Air Force shirt on. He's like,
Yeah.
"Are you vet?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a vet. I'm just going through school right now." And got talking. It was the summertime, and he gave me his email. I was like, "Hey, I'm looking for like a internship job or a part-time job, but I don't want to work for you unless you're going to teach me something in aviation." Because I feel like at that time I'd rather give up my time to learn something than rather have the money. So I was
Got
like,
you.
if you're not going to teach me anything, I don't really want to work for you.
Right.
So he's like, "All right, how about you come to the hangar, kind of like do random jobs around the hangar first." I'm like, "That's fine." By me, tested it out, loved it. Got my hands dirty with helicopters, airplanes, airport operation, interned for a while, and then he ended up offering me a job actually before I went back to school. He goes, "Hey, I really liked you here. How about I hire you on as my real title was actually vice president of operation after that internship, but pretty much now in charge of running the whole operation with him overseeing me."
Oh wow.
And it was kind of cool, get my hands dirty, but it was a lot of work. It was just nothing I ever done in my lifetime. It's just scheduling maintenance, what I had no clue about, but I had to learn
Right.
it. Scheduling how to buy airplane parts, which I had no clue how to do, because you would think
You go to
like
GSA.
you would think like go to AutoZone and pick up a part, like airplane parts. There's different categories, and you got to find out if it was like certified by a mechanic to get off the plane, and they have to tag it right, and like how much lifetime's on it, how much time in this. I was like, whoa, like
Yeah.
this is way over my head, and we're talking about $10,000 to $15,000 parts, and you can't just pick it up and be like, oh, I bought the wrong part, and like now the helicopter's not running, now we're losing clients. So
Right.
it was intense. It was an intense position.
Damn. That's something you don't think about, right? I mean, unless you're in that career field, like you don't think about like what are you just buying it like on Craigslist? Like, is there like
No,
a
like
international parts place or something? Or
there's international parts places, manufacturer, Airbus, Boeing. There's brokers out there that I didn't know that people actually buy planes just to part them out and hold on to the parts, because it goes up in value as older airplanes. You can't just manufacture them. You actually have to go buy a part off another plane or something. So
that's
these
crazy.
brokers would just hold on to these parts. I was just like, I didn't know this was even a thing.
Right. So it's like almost like what's that the show? Like American Pickers or something like that, but with like plain parts. And
I've never seen that show, so
it's just people go to like these antique stores and like they try to like haggle with them and try to figure out like they're well versed in like what the products were and like what the faults were and like all these things. But it's more so it's probably a shitty example, honestly. But yeah, like that's pretty wild. Like to I don't know, have to like because unless you know the people in the industry and unless there's like some type of rating with them, like their sales rating or what have you, like you don't know if you're gonna get the part you need, even though they say it is all those things that you're asking. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. Thank God every part has a serial number to it, so it helped out. But it's just he kind of let me do whatever I wanted, not do whatever I wanted, but he let me make a lot of mistakes, which was good. He didn't get mad at me for it, so I thought I bought like a $10,000 part that we needed two of them, and I screwed up on one. And you're just like, you got the wrong part. And I felt so bad. I was just like,
Yeah, it's like
oh God,
geez.
you're talking about 10 grand. I'm like, that's a lot of money for a part.
Yeah,
He's like, you got the wrong one. And I was like, oh, all right, well, I got to ship it back. You think like, maybe I'll just ship it back like post office or something. Like, no, no, you got to go through like a whole FedEx process and like boxing it up and having all the forms in it, because if you don't have the forms, the parts are pretty much useless. And just all this thing, and it's just the shipping alone was like, I don't even know, like $500 to $1,000.
damn.
So this is the very first time I ever dealt with like big money.
Right. Because I mean we get kind of spoiled in the military, right? Like
Yeah,
there's processes for that, like supply, like you it's still there's still a process, but it's still we still have the vehicle to do that within reason. There you're trying to damn. And then if there's like any hazardous materials in it or like oil or anything like that, you gotta factor that in. So you send it back, and then what happens? Like, are you always able to send it back, or sometimes with a person like, no, I'm not taking that back?
uh no, you could always send it back. You can return any product within so many amount of days, but I mean, I thought that was the issue. The issue is just not knowing what to do. Everything's on a timeline, dealing with big money. I'm still young at that time, like 25.
Yeah, that's
Like learning
crazy.
how to run a business, learning how to like manage everything, and
Damn, dude, you're how old are you right now?
32.
That's crazy. I
Yeah,
forget how
32.
young you were or are. Um, so you're doing that at 25. That's crazy. So then you do that, and you think he may have like hired, like saw something in you because you're trying to figure things out, like washing a plane
I
with your
think so
bottled
because
water.
I think so. I think he was trying to groom me on. He would always talk about, I don't. He loves the business. He just wanted someone to oversee and kind of run the show after he leaves. The crazy part about this is actually the guy that owns the company is the guy that invented uh, networked attached storage, like NOS and military, like the green boxes for communications and stuff.
Oh wow.
He actually worked for EMC Square, which was a big company that got bought out by IBM, and he actually owns that company. That's just one of his smaller companies, but uh, yeah, he just wanted someone to take it over when he leaves. They were trying to become a big company on the airfield,
Mm-hmm.
and now they are actually. They won the rights to sell fuel on the airfield, which is huge.
Wow.
Uh, so now I know he has grew quite a bit, and he's actually tried to offer me a job back like a couple of weeks ago.
Oh wow.
I,
That's
I
cool.
went back and kind of said hi to him, see how things are going with him. And he's like, "You coming back?" I was like, "Absolutely not." I just didn't have time. That job was so time consuming, and like I said, when people can spend the amount of money that they can spend on anything, you're on their time. I
Yeah.
actually had a bedroom in the hangar too.
Dang. So you're like almost like a personal assistant to them
Yeah, pretty
because
much. I mean, it was just a lot of work, and when you're running a 5-star helicopter service, it's just insane what these people that can afford it want to be in New York or want to be in Nantucket or want to be where they want to be on their time,
right,
and it's just the way that they lived.
right. It's just like a different lifestyle, and at the same time, you're pretty much being paid to accommodate them, which makes sense if that's what your primary service is and that's what your customers are. But oh, that's understandable. I mean, in my opinion, I'm not sure. I can see the opportunities and the network possibilities, but at the same time, like going back to your time and like keeping the work life balance, it makes sense that you are doing what you're doing now. So after you leave that, I remember seeing all those things. Like, I think I kind of message you every so often when we're staying on these random hotels during Rona. Like, what was that
Oh,
like? Was it like airports are like almost look like apocalyptic with nobody there?
uh, I think that's right after. Well, that's during boutique air, so no, it's definitely during aerial survey. We were moving from like state to state like every 2 days. We were just on a crazy schedule of, all right, if you guys finish this project, go to this project. Oh, the sun angle is bad here. There's clouds. Go to this state. And it was like hopping from hotel to hotel, from city to city. It was great. I thought it was awesome. I thought you get to meet people, and get to hang out with your buddy.
Yeah. So that was during like during the Rona time, right? During COVID.
That was like the start of Rona back in like November. No, I think timeline are messed up. So if you saw me in multiple hotels, definitely my first commercial job flying the aerial imagery. After that was the on-demand job of flying the PC-12 just from Boston to New York.
Mm-hmm.
That one we didn't really stay in hotels a lot. We had crew houses at our outstation where we fly to if we overnight. They had a crew house for us.
Got you. So what were the dark times then?
Finally made it to the airlines. Our magic number is 1,500 hours for us. You get to go fly the airlines now. Got accepted with my top pick of the airline. Went to training. You had to attend this mandatory FAA class for a week before the airline can take you. So we go to the class. I actually end up going to class with one of my college friends that we end up finishing at the same time, and actually got to the airlines at the same time. Got to the end of training, about to go off to simulators, and they were like, see ya. We're sending you guys home because of Rona. And I'm
Damn.
like, damn, like we don't get paid for during this 1 week. And you don't really make it to the airline until that day one of Monday, and we're on Saturday.
Oh man.
So got sent home, didn't have a job anymore. I knew that they were never going to call me back with Rona. The airline industry just took a hit. My old job wasn't going to definitely take me back because I just left their job for another job.
Oh.
So now I'm just sitting at home and thinking to myself, like, what the hell am I going to do?
Yeah.
Same buddy, the same Facebook buddy. He goes, hey man, how do you feel like flying overseas? I'm like, absolutely, dude. Like,
Yeah.
why I want to do that. He's like, all right, let me put you in touch with our HR girl. And for 3.5 months, I literally emailed them every 3 days. I was like, hey, you guys hiring?
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're hiring, but it's just we can't do interviews yet. Every 3 days for like 3 months. It's like, all right, Win, come on in. So here's my other flight to Virginia. This is where I started working for the DoD contractor for the Army, and got picked up with them, and just went off to training and spent most of my time after that, and flew for the Army, which is a little crazy.
Yeah. I bet. So like how long were you at home for before they actually called you? You say like 3 months?
Yeah, 3.5 months.
3.5 months. Damn.
Yeah,
So
it was a long time sitting around. I hate sitting around, so it really bothers me when I'm just doing nothing.
right. So and what are some of the places you got to go, like overseas? Like were you doing like rotators or like what were you doing?
We're doing
If you can say.
ISR,
Oh,
do
tracking.
surveillance. Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Uh,
That's all you gotta say. Um, yeah, I don't want to take you in that route. So you do
I
that.
mean, this thing I can discuss. There's things I can't. Like we were in Djibouti, Africa,
Oh
so
yeah, I've been
a lot of
there.
military people know where that's at. Big
Yeah.
Navy base. Uh, Good part is we get to live off base, which is awesome. Get to meet a lot of new friends.
I never got to go downtown there. I wasn't there long enough, but
You did miss out.
yeah. Yeah, I heard about it. I was there with Manning and we were doing a job. It was like part when first CMXS where you know we had so many things fucking going on, like with not only did we have like Afghanistan, Iraq, but we also had Libya kickoff, and I'm trying to remember something else. It was like right around the time that we had captured bin Laden and all that stuff. So there was a lot of stuff going on in a lot of different places in the world. And then we were like, going back behind them and setting up enduring sites, so combat comm can move their assets forward or what have you. But yeah, we were there for like a little over a month. And it was just fucking, I think it was a month. I don't remember, but it seemed like forever. But yeah, we were working asses off there. But so, anyways, you were saying I didn't miss much.
Yeah, it was a great time. Got to meet a lot of embassy people. And kind of learned their lifestyle and how it's kind of. I don't think kids know that you can go from college and straight to like the State Department and work for the embassy.
Really?
With like a lot of the people I met never had military background, never had anything, and they were like, "Yeah, I applied to a State Department job. They gave it to me. They're like, the next thing you know, you're in Djibouti."
Yeah. So that's crazy. You don't have to have like a international affairs degree or something like that. I don't know what the actual degree is
Yeah,
called.
a lot of them were tech. A lot of them were just different various job at the embassy. But it seemed like their lifestyle was kind of. If you like traveling, it's definitely a career to look into.
Yeah.
They pay for your housing. They pay for your car to be moved over, like almost the military, but you're on a State Department salary, and every 4 years you get to pick where you want to go.
Yeah.
So,
Until the embassy's taken over. And yeah.
and then you need to run back onto base.
Yeah. So with that, like, how long did you do that for?
I did it for about 2 years, and it was fun. It was one of those I can tell you about my first scariest moment. So we were in this airfield somewhere. It was my very first flight,
Mm-hmm.
and I wish they kind of briefed me on what was going to happen. Our typical briefings, small arm fires, missiles, rockets, whatever.
Yeah.
And we're on takeoff, and he's having me fly my first flight, and just take it off. All I hear was laser locked on. I was like, what? I was like, what? I'm like freaking out. I'm like, what is going
Yeah.
on? Like, he's like, and then by the time we got to the air, I'm going like, what just happened? He's like, oh, I mean, it gets locked on any laser. I was like, well, it would have been pretty cool for you to brief me on that.
Right.
Like,
So,
so I would be
so
freaking out.
y'all got locked on, or was it just?
No, just any laser. Any laser, it just goes off.
Oh, okay.
That's what I gotta stop that kind of talk after that. The rest of it I can't talk about.
Yeah, no, I
It was
got
just
you.
crazy. It
Yeah.
was just crazy. My first flight ever in that plane in the middle of nowhere, and it just happened. I'm like shitting my pants, and he's just laughing at me. I'm like, this is not funny at all.
No, yeah. I know it's well, first time I got scared, like really like I was in a dead sleep. I finally got some sleep after like 4 days. I was in transition to deployment. And I fell asleep on the cargo netting of a C-130, and we were like dropping people off at different bases. And one of those bases was a biop. And I before we were landing, I mean, I finally fell asleep and I was fucking dead tired. And they did one of those combat drops,
Yeah.
yeah. And they didn't warn me, not that they should have. They just did it. And I was just like, fucking glued to the fucking wall. And I didn't know what the fuck was happening. This is my first time ever experiencing one of those. So yeah, it scared the shit out of me. And they were laughing at me, of course. But yeah, man, it's all part of it. It's
Sick
an experience.
military humor.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I was like, all right, fucking assholes. But with that, yeah, man. So what? That's wild, dude. Because how long? How long was that post military? Like since the last time I served with you, or like when last time I saw you, like 7 years.
Yeah, about 7 years. Yeah, I got out in 2014. I think he left back to Boston the same year, right?
Yeah, I left
Like
in
beginning it.
2013. Actually,
Oh,
December of 2012, I left
oh, dang.
because I was going back to the States for that thing with my sister.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So,
10
yeah.
years.
Yeah. Is that right? Yeah.
About 10
2009,
years.
2013. So 10 years. Damn, dude. It didn't feel like that long, but it
No, it
is
doesn't.
that long. Damn, that's crazy. So you finally, I know your goal was to get to where you're at now. And like after you do that job with your army, how long after that do you find yourself in the position you are now?
So I just got back from my deployment or rotation back in February, and I just started applying to pretty much everywhere, honestly.
You
And
didn't want
then
to do that anymore?
I think I saw the guys have been doing it for a while. I think saw in them what I kind of saw in the military, like the older guys have been in for a while, and they start getting really angry
Oh,
at
yeah.
little things. And I kind of saw that. I was just like, I can't be doing this forever. It was a fun job, great job, best work life balance, but at the same time, I looked at them and kind of put myself in their shoes, like thinking to myself, like in 10 years, I would really want to be this person going on deployment, missing out on my wife's event or any family event because I can't be home. So I was like,
Yeah.
it's time for the airlines. It's time to, I guess, get a big boy job.
Yeah.
I've been trying to delay to get a big boy job forever, but got hired on with Spirit in March. They gave me a job offer in March, and waited till April to start class, and here I am.
Did JetBlue end up buying Spirit, or is that just rumors?
Not yet. They offered the fourth
That's what I
offer
saw.
now.
They offered something. That's what I saw.
Yep. So I don't know. I mean, either way, I really there's a lot of veteran in Spirit. Actually, there's a ton of veterans in Spirit. Very huge network. Very helpful too. Every single one that I've met. The thing about Spirit is why I chose them was back in the day, they knew they had to compete against all the other airlines. So their HR department was like, we want the fun guys actually.
Got you.
You actually supposed to take a personality test for any airline that you go to. It's certain airlines want certain criteria, and Spirit was the one where like you have to score outgoing to actually be part of Spirit.
Really?
Yeah. So it's funny because when I get here, it's like everyone's so friendly. It's not like that at other airlines. Other airlines are a little bit more strict. Here at Spirit, we like to have fun. We like to do our job. We like to do our job well, but we like to
Right.
have fun at the same time.
You think, I mean, I don't know. I know you can't speak on behalf of the company, but in the news, because I wonder, like, especially what I know about, the way corporations work and industry works is especially having an up and coming airline rival the other, top, I don't know, 5 companies. You think there's like leaked, or I don't want to say leaked, but bad press put out there to try to um keep people away from it, or is there like some ground truth into that where because I remember like reading they've been like the butt of many jokes for like Spirit Airlines, like if you this you write Spirit or whatever. What's the ground truth of like what you experience with like the passengers and stuff like that?
I have only flown as a passenger. Only flown it, I think, twice in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was fine. Dealing with the passenger now flying them, I think they're absolutely wonderful people. Honestly, I feel like the thing about Spirit is that we sell a seat just based on your seat. We
It's
don't
kind of like
sell it.
Ryanair, right? Like
Yeah,
in the same model.
yep. We don't sell you your coffee. We don't sell you your water. We don't sell you your bags. You are just literally paid for your seat.
Got you.
If you want anything else, you can pay for it. But think about if you go to another airline. Uh, let's say I'm not gonna say any names. I don't want to.
Got you.
Well, you pay for the seat. You're paying for someone else's water. You're paying for someone else's Coke. You're paying for someone else's let's just bag or anything. Because let's say you're not taking a bag that day, or you're doing a quick business trip. All you need is your one little bag,
Mm-hmm.
but you're paying for everybody else's around you because that's just the price you pay.
Oh, so it's all wrote into the ticket, to
Yep,
the fare.
it's all road to ticket. Like your Coke, your snacks, your seats, everything, service, the whole thing. So with Spirit business model set, they just sell just the seat.
Got you. So it's like the typical motto is almost like a socialist dynamic, or a socialist like approach. Not in the negative connotation of what everyone thinks what socialism is, but more so like we're all gonna pay into something, we're all gonna get something kind of thing.
Yep.
But with that, so Spirit is just I just need the seat. And I've ran into that quite a few times where, and I didn't know, it's like ignorance, right? You just pay the ticket because that's what it is. But I know there's a lot of times I've flown and with just a backpack, and even then, like people kind of, I don't know, if they just see you with just a backpack, I don't know, they even like going through customs and stuff, like they find that strange. You just got a backpack and coming international? I'm like, yeah, that's all I got.
I
I
mean,
don't
I
know
went
what
to
you want me to tell
Cancun
you.
with just a backpack.
What's that?
I took a trip to Cancun with my buddy with just a backpack.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so that's cool. So how what's the I don't know. I guess I'm trying to go like what are your experiences like with flying commercial? Like I don't know, like how do you not how do you but I don't know. What are your experiences so far working with them, like flying in the cockpit and all this? Because I've never been back there.
Uh, Still surreal,
Like to
a
take a
dream come
big
true,
plane up like
honestly.
that, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's as a little kid, you go to the back of the plane like, dang, I wonder what those guys are doing up there.
Yeah.
And now being in the seat, it's like it's just crazy. I don't know. And
Yeah.
I don't think I mean, I think about the whole plane in itself, but like when you're in there, you're in your work zone. You're just you know what to do. You're trained to do it. But when I get out to do my walk around, I'm like, holy crap! I just flew this big old plane.
Yeah.
I just flew this big thing. And you're like, I don't even know how I did that. It's still magic to me. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, just like in flying in total, like what they always say the hardest thing is landing. Like, is that, I mean, I would imagine that's still relatively the issue, but what did you struggle with most in class? Was it the studying? Was it the flying? Like,
I think it's definitely the studying. It's just you have to learn a lot. People don't realize that pilots they have to learn about everything, and I'm talking about like everything in the plane. Like you think if you think of a professional driver, right? You would think, oh, all they do is get paid to drive, but I'm pretty sure they're paid to learn about the wheel speed, the suspension, how the airplane, I mean, how the car handles, and all the
you
systems
talking
in
about
the
like a race car driver?
yeah, like a race car
I
driver.
got you.
Like pilots are saying that we have to know everything from the engine limitation to temperature to what if hydraulic is broken. How do you take another system to supply that system? Fuel imbalance. You think about center of gravity. A plane has a center of gravity. You got to know how to balance it out, and just all these things at once. And you need to know every single limitation, every single equipment on your plane.
Dang. I know. I mean, I can't really compare anything to that. I've never had that level of responsibility as far as like an aircraft plus the crew plus the people on board, and then yeah, I mean, it makes sense that you have to know all that stuff because if something goes wrong, you need to know how to fix it. And you're going to more than likely be making that decision in the air. You know what I mean? And everyone's going to look to you. So you fucking better know what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn. Um, wow. That's crazy. And then I don't know, man. I just keep going back to, know, us serving together and then like everything now, I kind of like tracked, what you've been doing over those, X amount of years. And I'm like, damn, that's so cool that he's kind of, found himself in these positions. And you kind of told me about the water bottle thing like a while back. I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool how things just kind of keep lining up for you in that sense. And how you kind of overcame them and persevered to try to find yourself in the position that you're in now. So like, what's next for you? Like, you just going to continue down this road? Are you doing international flights yet? Or are you just doing local, no, let's say locust, but like CONUS flights?
My next trip is actually from Orlando to Columbia on Wednesday, so that'd be my next trip. But yeah, I'm hoping to do more South America trips and kind of visit the country itself and kind of explore that kind of continent over there because
Shit,
I've never been in that area.
me either. I want to go down to Peru.
Same here. We should do a hike up to Machu
Machu
Picchu.
Picchu. Let's
You know,
do it, dude. Let me know when.
I, I'll be totally down. We fly there, so it's gonna be you're gonna get to experience the Spirit flight.
There you go. Yeah, dude. I'm down, dude. I just gotta go renew my passport. But
Might
yeah,
need that. Might need that.
yeah, I might need that. Just throw me underneath. But yeah, man, it's I definitely want to go to experience Peru, Mexico, like the I don't want to say the ruins like Mexico City, but go see all the like pyramids or the I guess that's what they're called, right? They're called pyramids.
Yep. We got to do a little bit of that while we went to Tulum. Me and my buddy did a little bit of that. It was cool. You used to be able to climb it, but now you're not able to climb it anymore. I was actually on the bucket list.
Oh,
So
man. You know why they're not be able to climb it? Somebody, I forgot which one it was, but somebody had like sex up there, and then they
oh,
recorded it or something.
god damn it.
I know somebody. I was gonna fuck it up with somebody else.
Yeah.
So
It
what?
was pretty steep. I don't even know how people. Honestly, I would have been a little scared. It was pretty steep. It wasn't like
Well, they were at the top. I think where like it like levels off. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know specifically. I wasn't there, but yeah, that's what I heard on the news that they shut it down from people climbing it because I don't know if it was like a reoccurring thing, but I know that was like the final thing. It was just like, you guys can't be having sex up here. What's wrong with y'all?
You gotta do for the views. The views.
Yeah, I guess so. Trying to get those likes, you know what I mean? Gotta take it bigger.
Good for
So,
them.
everything have you been tracking anything with the Commander David Fravor or anything with the UFO footage or UAPs or whatever like that? So with that, is there any like protocol? Have you guys see any type of anomalies when you're in the air? Do you have to like, is there a process for that, or have you seen
No,
anything that would just like, what the fuck is that?
no, I haven't seen anything that's kind of crazy. Not yet, at
Yeah,
least. I see a lot of shooting stars when I was in Africa. You fly at night, you can see like the whole entire galaxy. I mean, it's just so clear, no light pollution. But
nice. Damn.
but no, I haven't seen anything weird, unidentified object.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, because I guess it's pretty common, and I think that's what's so wild. Like, I mean, that shit is so crazy right now. We don't have to get into any of the politics or anything, but like, shit is so crazy that there's like the Pentagon and other like sources, like government sources, like putting out this information as far as like, whether they're, unmanned aircraft or if they're UFOs, or if there's, I don't know, dude. And it's pretty prevalent in the news, but yet that's not the top story. You know what I mean? It's like
uh,
we're like kind of going off on all these tangents of like, I don't know,
I think I come to
Kardashians or
realize that people only care for things that affect themselves.
yeah, yeah. I know that happened. So when we had a we had the incidents like in in Germany. It wasn't just in Germany, it was other places too where DUIs were running rampant, right? People were getting busted like left and right. And it was asked to me by somebody who was like, what could we do to mitigate this? And I was just like, honestly, I was like, I've thought about it. And unfortunately, like, now I would say unfortunately, but I've thought about this a lot. And the only way you're going to be able to make any change is to personalize it to them. So I suggested, I mean, it sounds extreme, but that chose somebody in the squadron, somebody that everyone liked, and then stage like a fake funeral from a DUI and go through the whole thing. Because have a recall the morning of, because anything short of that, nobody's, I hate to say it, but there's not going to be any big changes unless you just kind of general order number one, general order one. Because if you don't personalize it to them, then the people aren't going to buy into it or try to make any changes.
You're also gonna have the mentality, it's never gonna happen to me. It's never gonna happen to me until it
Yeah.
does, and then it affects a circle around you. But
Right.
until then, it's like it's hard to do a mass trading on something that you can't control, and also it's very situational, base. Uh, your decision that you might make when you're sober is a little different than when you're drunk. So
Yeah.
it's like you're trying to command a fourth dimension almost.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And I don't know, dude. It's crazy. Like how, I mean, it's not for everyone, but alcohol kind of definitely lowers the inhibitions of a lot of people and they do a lot of crazy shit. Party, my president part, like me included, you know what I mean? I did some crazy, stupid shit. But with that, it's just like, yeah, if you're not going, if a person barely can control themselves when they're drinking, how are you gonna be an external influence and control the person? You know what I mean? Unless you're like
Yeah.
physically holding them down or locking them in a room or whatever, you know what I mean? Like trying other people looking out for them to try to do that. And I like to think that we did that a pretty good job of that for the most part of when we were TDY and stuff and like trying to take care of others, taking now what they did in the room, like afterwards, I mean, I couldn't say, but at the end of the day, we try to, take care of our own, if you will. But yeah, man. So yeah, I'm thinking about it and I'm pausing a lot because it's strange interviewing you, not in the sense because of the person you are, but of the person you are and like the history we have. And then it's surreal to me that we find ourselves right now on this interview, like on this podcast right now. One, I'm doing a fucking podcast. Two, I race mountain bikes, you know what I mean? And three, nonprofit. Like my my life right now, in the sense of things that I do, is I would have never have imagined that I'd be doing any of this stuff. And it's pretty wild. And then you like a pilot, not to say that I didn't believe that you could do it, but it's crazy, is all. Yeah.
You never know what's thrown at you. And I feel like a lot of people don't take the opportunity to do it. But I think if you expand your mind and you expand out of your comfort zone a little bit, you kind of find what you like. And next thing you know, you're racing mountain bikes.
Yeah, I know. I know. And that's one thing I kind of tell everyone, like, don't just have one thing, like don't be one dimensional. If you love to race mountain bikes, or if you love to paint, like just keep trying those different things. When you find it, you're just like, man, I really love doing this, and then get better at it, then find something else, whether it's skydiving or whatever it is, freaking playing the banjo or whatever, and just keep trying to go. Because if at any one point in time you are not able to do one of those things, you have at least something else to fall back on. And it helps
Yeah,
keep
absolutely.
your balance and your passion and whatever that is. So speaking of which, like, how do you keep, like, what else do you do? Do you play any instruments or anything?
I started getting into woodworking.
Nice. Oh yeah, I saw that, dude.
Yeah.
Those some nice chairs and stuff. Uh,
uh,
this
yeah.
table right here, I did as well. And this desk right here, it looks like shit. Like it's probably like you can see all those screws and stuff, but I really enjoyed it though. Like the sanding part of it, the creating part of it. I made like a couple bed frames for my kids. Um, but like, I don't know, to a certain extent, I like to see the imperfections of it, because I don't know, for me, maybe it's just me just trying to make myself feel better, but it's I don't know, it's original, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, like I just always wanted to get into woodworking, and I finally decided, like, screw it. I'm gonna do it and see how it turns out. And been doing that. Me and the wife are big into real estate, so we're always searching or trying to find properties to fix up.
That's nice, man. Like I
So
saw that place in Florida. I need to get back there.
same here. Same here. I think I'm going in July. So
July. What part of July? Well, you can tell me afterwards. I don't give any
in
weird
the
details.
July, the DoD guys, my last job, a lot of them actually from the area. They were all over at Herbert, so they
Hmm.
bought houses over there. We're gonna meet up and then in July for a reunion.
Nice.
So that'd be a good trip. Hopefully, I can get
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah. You said end of July?
Yeah, July 20th. They said the 20th to the 25th or something.
Nice.
So
Yeah, I
we're
need to
gonna
get
head
back
over
down
there.
there. Go hang out with Scott and go see everybody down here, like Dave
Yeah,
Norton, and I think Junior's still in Tendo or near Tendo. But yeah, man. Well, I know you got stuff to do for the rest of the day, but I appreciate you taking the time. If there's anything
absolutely.
you
Thank you
wanted
for
to
having me
talk
on.
about, yeah, and then maybe next time we'll talk about some even crazier shit back in the day or whatever. But maybe not. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Oh, I forgot to throw in a fun fact. He told me not to tell you, but remember Chris Wade?
I do remember Chris Wade.
He's actually a pilot too,
Shut up.
and actually got him a job at Spirit Airlines.
Whoa, that is crazy.
And he was my second supervisor at England.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I remember. I didn't remember who was your supervisor, but dang, that's cool. I'm glad, dude.
Yeah.
I'm glad. That's
He said
cool.
not to mention his name, but I'm going to do it anyways, and I want to send him
Ooh,
this podcast.
ooh, burned. That's cool, man. What's up, Chris? Yeah.
So
So
congratulate, congrats to Chris for making a Spirit Airlines too. He's in training right now.
nice.
So
That's awesome, man. I haven't heard of that dude in a while, and that's good, man. I'm glad to hear good things about people that we served with that are kind of pursuing and non-traditional paths, if you will. Not to knock anybody that has gone like the contractor route, going back to DoD and stuff like that, but at the same time, it it's cool to hear that other people are like pursuing like a different path to try to find something that brings them joy and passion in whatever is in their life. And you know, I don't know, and really try to explore something else. Because I don't know, when you kind of leave the machine and the system, it takes a while to kind of get adjusted because you're so used to it's comfortable, right? I mean, it's amazing what you get comfortable with, but when you kind of leave it and you kind of see it for what it is, and I'm not knocking it, like there are a lot of good things. I met people like yourself in the military, a lot of great people, but it's when you do something for so long, you it's good to kind of start shifting into something else to kind of work a different brain muscle, if you will, learn like a new trait or a new habit or hobby, and just try to get out of that. But if it brings you joy and whatever it is, like, and that's what you love to do, then so be it. You know what I mean? I just find more often than not, though, some of the people that we served with, they when they do that, they are not as happy as they probably could be because they're just, you know, doing the same thing. It's like Groundhog's Day, and they're just doing a paycheck, and they're just kind of like, oh, it's whatever, you know. And I don't know. There's something that it just feels like there's something being sucked out of them to a certain extent. I'm not saying
Yeah,
everyone, but
I see that a lot. I feel like people when they get out, they don't know what to do, and when the defense contractor I offer them a shit ton of money, I feel like it kind of sell their soul a little bit for it.
yeah, no, it's
And
exactly. I don't want to say it in every situation, but most situations. And that was one of my things. I was like, when I get out, man, I'm just gonna deploy again, you know, go contractor, like do like a year or something, and then, you know, get out, retire or whatever, you know, with that extra bit of money. But yeah, the more I thought of it, and there was those opportunities, I had like a good job lined up when I got out, but honestly, I wasn't in the place. Because if I would have did it, then I was really trying to escape myself. You know what I mean? I was trying to escape,
yeah,
like, and not deal with stuff. And it was so I talked to Sandy, and I'm glad I did it. It was hard because it was a lot of money. But at the same time, like I said, I wasn't like in the place for it. And I had the job offer, like the letter, I did the interview and all this stuff. And I told him, like, I'm gonna have to deny it. You know, like, I appreciate you guys taking it, like, you know, considering me as an available option. However, like at this point in my life, I feel like I'm not in the position to give you 100%, and it wouldn't be fair to y'all. It wouldn't be fair to me. So I kind of bowed out of it. I mean, whether they got pissed or I'm pretty sure they found somebody else like right after. But either way, man, I mean, now I found myself doing stuff that I really enjoy, and I don't even feel like I'm like working, you know what I mean? And I found myself meeting this community of people, which I need to fucking get you out riding. But I find this community of people, they're just like trying to do better, trying to make others better. And it's kind of it's strange, but I'm I wasn't the most patriotic person when I first exited the military. And perhaps that was because I felt like I didn't do as much of other like as others did, in the sense of like our sister branches, you know, like people that are infantry and stuff like that. Like, I minimized a lot of my service because, you know, I was like, I don't know, like I never did what they did. So I mean, for whatever that's worth, um, I think that played into it. Another thing that played into it was just, I don't know, maybe it was just like the way the system, like, I don't want to be say this because I sound like the fucking victim, and I don't want to be that. But when I got med boarded and stuff like that, like, and I wasn't in trouble. I didn't do anything wrong. Nobody would have fucking knew if I didn't say anything, or I didn't go get help. And because the way the systems were talking to each other with the VA and active duty, I got issued medicines that I wasn't supposed to while on active. So that immediately like triggered a med board. And then it was already too late. I was at 18 years, I think, when or 18 and a half when that got triggered. The Air Force is the only one that will push you out at 19 years, 11 months, and like 30 days or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. So with that, I went through the whole med board process. That fucking sucked. Luckily, I had leadership that, you know, went to bat for me. They showed up at my med board. They spoke on behalf of me. I had to write a letter, but it was just that whole process that I had to do, even though that I wasn't in trouble. I didn't, fuck up. I didn't get DUI. I didn't, none of these things. Right. And because of that, I mean, looking back, I think I understand it, but at the time I didn't. So fast forward getting out, but I wasn't the most patriotic for a lot of different reasons. And not to say that I'm the most patriotic now, but I do have a different found like respect for, freedom of speech is probably my biggest one that I'm more of an advocate for, kind of one of the purposes of this podcast, because I don't know. I mean, for a good reason, we weren't allowed to speak our minds in the sense of we just, like politics or anything, we just had to stay quiet about it. And I get that there should only be like one, unified message going out. But with that, that kind of also restricted a lot of, ideas or ways I thought or things we saw, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then fast forward getting out, when I started writing, I had nothing to do with the military. And then I ended up meeting through mountain biking, Jonathan Hagerman, who's the founder of the Dirt Every Project. He had just found was about to start it. I didn't even know it was a nonprofit. And I just started riding with him. I went on a trip with him to Bentonville, Arkansas, and everything that's transpired since then. My point is that meeting people that, help me shift the perspective of what, our country is through their experiences. And then it's kind of validated and gave me a profound understanding of and start to appreciate like my service as well. Not in the sense of like, some of those people are out there like you will like, thank me for my service. No, it's not about that. It's just appreciating like the time I served and the time that, I put into it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
validating my own experience, if that makes sense. Because before I would just try to push it under, you know what I mean? I still kind of do that sometimes, but I don't know, man. It's just really trying to appreciate, I don't know, the time we put in and you put in as well. So I don't know if I'm making sense by saying any of that. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, you're like, dude, what the
I
fuck you talking
I feel a
about?
little weird when people say thank you for your service. I'm just like,
It is
okay then.
strange. I just learned to start saying like appreciate your support or something, but it's not, because at the same time we also like volunteered. You know what I mean? And I have met some of those people that kind of carry that, like you will thank me, or they expect something from it. It's like the last guy I had on, I was talking about Lee. He owns a gym and he said that he has some veterans go in there and like they're like, you don't offer like a military discount, like with attitude. And like, dude, like because of, and then when one of the programs I went through, Home Base Boston, uh I was speaking to some of the veterans after getting to know them, and they kind of understood like I wouldn't say shit, but they were like, dude, we have people coming in here. And because I don't, do you know what Home Base Boston is? I'm pretty sure
Is
you
it?
do. It's a
Isn't
Red
that?
Sox
Yeah.
foundation and Wounded Warrior Foundation, and
Yep.
it's intensive outpatient therapy for veterans to help them and their families deal with, some of the traumas they experience within the service. And but with that, they bring people in on their dime, or I should say, volunteers' dimes or donations. They bring people in and their families. They go through, different treatment plans. What the family gets their own treatment, like the spouses and the veteran or the active duty member, and they help them through this process. But one of that, like to keep the balance of like the hard work you're doing, like processing whatever and like kind of, owning your shit or what have you. They also like take you like on trips. I don't know, like they'll take you on the Constitution, or they'll take you to a Red Sox game, or at least to go see the field or something like that. But they would have veterans coming in and they had this entitlement, and they would say things like if they didn't get what they expected out of it, like, hey, I thought we are gonna go see the Red Sox, and that, so they would tell those veterans like, that's fucking bullshit. That's the only reason why I came here. You know what I mean? It's just like for people like that, it fucks it up for other people that are just there, like, I don't know. You know what I'm
Those,
saying?
yeah, those are the people that think that the world owns something, and those are the worst. I would say the worst, but
Yeah. No, I got you. I
I,
know what you're
I
saying.
wouldn't associate myself with those people, honestly.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. And then same thing, like I don't know, other nonprofits that I've spoken with, I've heard that as well. Like where they're just trying to get reached out because they want to get something, and they haven't even provided anything for like to help the program. Hey, how can I help? How can I volunteer? That's the first question out of their mouth. Like, hey, how can I get a free whatever? And I don't know. It's I guess, but anyways, but with that, dude, I wish you all the best with everything going forward, dude, and let's try to make some of those trips happen. I need
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
I need to get you like I said, if you're ever in Texas, in San Antonio specifically, or I can go meet you somewhere. Um, I can take another bike and definitely go take you out and get you riding. Have you ever been mountain biking before?
I actually was part of a mountain biking group when I was in like middle school, but
Nice.
I
So
haven't I haven't gotten back on a bike. I'm more of like a road bike person.
yeah, well, it's like I say, it's like riding a bike, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, it's fun. I mean, I wouldn't take you off on any crazy trails and
yeah,
anything like
hopefully
that.
not.
No, no, I've heard of that too, of people doing that, and it ruins a person's first experience, whether they get hurt or they're just like, this isn't for me. But I don't know, man. It's a good time. It's a good outlet, and it's definitely a good change of pace. The only thing I don't like about road riding is the drivers. Maybe Boston is a little bit more, no, not maybe, but they are more, they're used to having cyclists on the road as opposed to San Antonio, or it's like a new concept and you're getting like driven off the road. There's been a lot of people getting hit by cars here. So
Yeah, I try to go like to the middle of nowhere usually,
yeah,
and just ride it. Then I wouldn't ride on the main street or anything. I wouldn't even ride into Boston. I wouldn't even do that.
yeah,
That's too much.
yeah, I got you. But yeah, man. Well, cool. I like I said, I appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, people kind of get some, a different path from your experience and learn more about maybe start looking into becoming a pilot. I mean, based off of what everything you told me, I'm like, damn, like, because I talked about getting my pilot's license. I'm like, damn, that sounds like a lot. But it sounds like it's very doable. You just got to put in the work and the effort and do the studying. But it sounds like it'd be very rewarding to have a pilot's license, just go wherever the fuck you want, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a date night. You and Sandy just rent a plane and go wherever you want.
Yeah,
It's a
it'd
perk.
be tough
So
to try to get her on the plane.
just don't
Like
tell her where you're going.
she likes flying, but it's just like when it comes to me, she's like, hope you studied. But all right, man. Well, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I'll see you
man.
soon. Maybe August.
Yeah, maybe August. We'll talk after.
Figured I'd hit you up.
Yeah. Yo, when the films develop, will you like who you see in the pictures that live forever? When your name stops being in the news and reporters no longer care to ask you about your point of view. When all you have left is the loyalty of those that knew you before contracts and royalties. Will it be enough or will you fade away regretfully? Architecture of a legacy. Look, it's in my surname, the tongue down the word game. Thoughts consumed by sitting on a nest egg. I got a bird brain, trying to stash a few Jacksons away. Like Tito, Latoya, Jackie, and Jermaine. Cause you know it's still all about the dividends. But I'm starting small till I work my way to Benjamins. Mention cash.